Hi there, Bryce! So your movie was incredible. Puppets being the manifestation of the zombies? Oh my god! If you haven't seen Apocalypse Zombies 2 yet, link in the description. So Bryce, over the summer, as you know, I had the opportunity to work for the best nonprofit in Portland. I worked for the Bus Project, registering voters all around Portland, spreading the word about ballot initiatives, and recruiting volunteers to help us with our civic engagement efforts. And the Bus Project is responsible for one holiday that's become really huge in a really short amount of time. National Voter Registration Day, or NVRD. I joined Wellesley CPLA in helping put on an NVRD event on campus. One of my colleagues told me that there was a stack of forms about 6 inches thick. That is huge. But of course, for as many people who are excited about registering to vote, I've also heard tons of excuses for why people don't bother to register or vote. But unless I'm like voting for president, what's on the ballot this year that's gonna affect me anyway? There are state and local elections for representatives, senate, and depending on the state, lots of ballot initiatives. Every single election there is something to care about because it affects you and where your money's going and what decisions are being made so that you can be living a better life. But I'm just gonna be one vote. How is that gonna matter? Sure, maybe you're just gonna be a drop in the bucket, but more drops, heavier bucket, right? Okay, but enough with your metaphors. How is my vote actually gonna count? Especially with the corporations. Money doesn't rule the entire game. One of the awesome things about voting is that you don't do it in a vacuum. You do it with the community. The more people you find who are on your side and who can advocate on the interests that you care about, the more you can ensure that the people you vote for will be fighting on your behalf. But I feel like that only works if you're white. That's a good point. Look, the system is really messed up, and it favors the privileged. One of the really nice things about voting is that it's only one tool. There are so many tools out there to make sure that you and your community have the ability to advocate on behalf of your needs. If you and your community do not vote, that leaves a gap that is really easy for both money and privilege to fill. But the government has personally screwed me over since the Clinton administration. What responsibility do I have to participate in a system that's not going to listen to me? Yes, it's really easy to feel powerless, but the first step to fighting that feeling and to making sure you get more represented is to take action. Do you really believe all that stuff? Absolutely! If voting didn't matter, why did people advocate so hard in the early 1900s to make sure senators could be chosen by direct election? If voting didn't matter, why did people die in the summer of 1961 so that people could have the unhampered right to register to vote? And yes, I know that Bush v. Gore happened. If voting didn't matter, we wouldn't put things into place to make sure everyone's votes can be counted. And yes, the system is not perfect, but your vote can improve the system. But don't just take my word for it. You can ask a bunch of people at Wellesley who registered voters with me this week.
Because it's important that we take advantage of the right to vote to make sure our voices are heard in our government.
Because it is their civic duty, and just because they are away from home does not mean they should not be able to vote.
Because democracy.
A lot of issues in my state are definitely conquered at the local level, so the people I elect really matter.
So if you're not convinced yet, hopefully this Justin Timberlake parody will.
If you're not voting now, or changed your name or your address recently, I'm not here to help you out, and I'll get you registered. I can do it for you now. It takes 2 minutes, it's so easy and important to make sure you fill this thing out, so your voice can be heard. Go vote in November, whoa, 'cause it's your civic duty. Whoa. Just promise me you'll remember when your ballot comes from the county. Whoa. You'll get it inside your mailbox, fill it out and put a stamp on it, send it back. Yeah, go vote in November. Whoa. 'Cause it's your civic duty, civic duty.
Bryce, I'll see you in Portland.